Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of All the Mods 6 Kappa Mode. How are you guys doing today? How's life? I have finally updated the pack to 1.16.4 and we have access to thermal expansion. And what that basically means is that our base is going to require a new wing. I have made some of the machines from thermal expansion like the pulverizer, the redstone furnace and the induction smelter, but they're not hooked up to our system yet because thermal expansion has gone through a huge update. It's now called Thermal Series. Apart from a very weird texture that everything has, also the mechanics have changed a little bit, and also we don't have any item ducts, fluid ducts or flux ducts, which is sad. But in any case, for the moment, thermal expansion is going to give us some machines and we will use them later on. Because we do have other priorities as well. For instance, we're going to need another nitro reactor from Power and I'm going to put it over here so that the base is symmetrical. The nitro reactor from Power is going to require 9 nether stars and we get our nether stars from our wither bees. The setup that we have over here is not very productive because it's not automated, and I've been waiting for automation until we managed to get the tier 1 apiary, which is super expensive. You need a lot of honeycombs and you need a lot of bee wax. Then I had a lot of luck because I did manage to find 2 beekeepers in a nearby village and they sell you honeycomb and bee wax. And if you're wondering why this place is so cluttered, it's because I don't know which one is their workstation. They do restock, I just don't know which one it is. But long story short, are you Nate? No, you're Henry the Mighty. Actually, you see, with my obsidian armor, he's not doing that much damage to me. He's destroying the armor, but I don't take that much damage. This aldemodium armor was garbage. That was epic. What? It's garbage anyways. The apiary is a multi-block structure, so we're going to need an apiary storage and the apiary itself. And I have no idea how this works, but can you validate? Oh, it has a preview. Okay, what kind of blocks should I use? Any block from the valid apiary tag. So we enable it here? I think? Yeah, that's not helping much. Just out of curiosity, can it be wood? Actually, I think it can be wood. Let me make something, then I'll bring you right back. Okay, so I have to make a very small confession. This is the part where I'm literally guessing because the mod does not have any documentation. There was supposed to be a tutorial video on the page, but the tutorial video is private, so I can't watch it. But the way that I understood everything from the tooltips is that you need an apiary, you need an apiary storage, and you can also have an apiary breeder, which is optional, and you can breed bees automatically. I don't know if wood is going to be a valid block or not, but I did see a picture online and it seems glass is. Oh, this is valid! So you can use wood, you can use glass. I don't know what else you can use. And it seems if we want to transfer bees, we need a jar. I did make a few jars. Jars are not that expensive, it's basically glass, so let's go and see if we can capture our bees. Oh yeah, you can capture them in a jar. The only issue is that I don't remember how many bees we had. Was it 4 or 5? I just replaced one of those wood blocks with the nether star block that we had and the structure is still valid. And I think this is how you would put the bees inside? Yes. First things first, we had a total of 5 bees and not 4. I did manage to find one of them flying around. Oh, you're Aqua! I did not have to travel 2000 blocks. Anyhow, the second important thing is this guy is amazing. Every time that they go and bring back honey, they give me 8 honeycombs. And yes, I did move the apiary storage from up here to down here because we need to automate it using a centrifuge. We already have a garbage centrifuge, but we can make a multi-block structure and that should be more efficient, I think. It's just that it's slightly expensive. The size is 3x4x3 and it does seem to work. Okay, good. So I think we're going to set it up over here and the tooltip said that each and every block can accept RF and items. Hello. So for automating everything, I think here's what we're going to do. We need to convert these honeycombs into honeycomb blocks because processing it in a centrifuge is much faster. So this is why I'm going to use a crafter from RF Tools. We're going to extract the honeycombs from the apiary storage and we're going to insert it into the crafter. And of course I'm going to make a recipe for honeycomb blocks and we're going to extract the honeycomb blocks from the crafter and put it inside the centrifuge, like so. So now you should get it, right? Yes. Another issue is that the centrifuge is not going to work unless it gets glass bottles. I don't want to craft that many bottles, so we're going to extract the bottles from the centrifuge and insert it into the crafter. Then we just convert them into honey blocks and that should give us the bottles back. Good. Which of course we're going to extract the bottles and put them inside the centrifuge one more time. So I'm guessing this thing should go on a loop. I kind of figured that if we manage to get a few more nether stars, I can breed the bees and the process will be much faster. And fighting 6 withers is a stupid idea, I know. Or maybe not, it's actually faster. I added 2 more bees, I added 1 more block of nether stars, and so far we have not gained anything, but it's okay. Eventually this will provide us with a lot of nether stars, because if we go to the apiary, you might notice that a tier 1 apiary gives us 8 honeycombs, a tier 2 gives us 16, a tier 3 will give us 4 honeycomb blocks, and a tier 4 8. So that's a crazy amount. The only issue is that it's slightly expensive to upgrade them. That's it. So let us get back to the main task at hand, which is making another one of these reactors. We have already automated everything from power using XNet, and now we just need to hook it up to our applied energistic system. We just need an interface under the chest and we just connect it to our cables. It should be fine. 1 import bus, some capacity cards, some acceleration cards, and we filter U. So these are the items that will be imported to our system after the crafting is done. And I have already made the patterns, so we just put you in and order some. So can you make me 100 nitro crystals or no? No. One of these days I have to start investing in a spawner. Unfortunately that day is not today. It seems that it's working. Good. Very good. I just set in the pattern for making a nitro reactor and it seems we need 2 more nether stars, which is fine, we already have it and we can auto craft it. Fine. Actually, I just remembered why I screwed up the recipe. It's because I upgraded the rods. It is perfectly fine, and I think now we should work on our quarry and ore dabbling setup. So you guys have been telling me that if I use an ender pearl on the ender chest that we have over here, I can increase the capacity. How do you use it? Oh, you hold shift and then right click. Okay. Oh, this is huge. Nice. This was a very nice solution. Thank you. If we want to upgrade our quarry, we are going to upgrade it at least to silk touch, which requires dimensional shards, and they require prismarine, which unfortunately is not something that we have, so we have to go and find it. I know where the Guardian Temple is, but I was hoping that before we visit there, we might get a few upgrades to make our lives easier. And if you're wondering why I'm not suffocating, it's because of the Ring of Odin. Yes, this is what I was looking for. A sunken ship. And I have looted it already, okay. Oh, there's another chest with buried treasure map. And we also take the feathers. For what I need to craft, we need a heart of the sea, and this should be the spot. I did make a huge mess, but it's down here. Very good. We're not going to craft something super complicated, it's just a ring. But if you're using it underwater, you can swim really fast and you have night vision. And since we are using both of our ring slots, we cannot use our band of mana. So instead we're going to try and make a mana mirror. What am I missing? A mana pearl. And we can link the mirror to one of the mana pools and we should have mana. This mana pool also has a dominant spark, so if we use mana, it will be refilled. There is a Guardian Temple right over here. It's not that far. What is this? Really? Underwater? We have a hole, we go in. Actually, I think we have plenty. Let's get out. Oh, we have another spawner over here. Nice. Looting 3. Fine. So for the Silk Touch Quarry, we only need 4-dimensional shards. And that's it. And apparently it's no longer an achievement. So the reactor is ready, we can just assemble it over here. But before running the reactor, let us go to the mining dimension and fix our quarry, which I'm assuming you're still here? Yes. Since I have updated the mod pack, there are new ores from thermal expansion, so we need to generate new terrain. Let's go like 500 blocks that way. Oh, the color of the biome changed. So maybe this is new terrain. The dimensions for the Silk Touch Quarry are going to be 512 by 512 by 75. And offset by -38. I have upgraded our quarry to Silk Touch, I have relocated our quarry to new chunks, and I have also made an ore dabbling system. So we do have a steady supply of resources, and that makes me happy. Sleeping also makes me happy. Now that everything is relatively being taken care of, I think it's time to start focusing on getting the mecha suit. The problem with this suit is that it's going to require polonium pellets. And of course this is mechanism, so we're going to need a bajillion machines to get polonium from polonium, the other polonium from nuclear waste from fissile fuel, and fissile fuel from uranium hexafluoride. But you guys know me by now. Safety comes first, and I take the safety of our base very seriously. Although you should remember that we technically don't need a hazmat suit in order to make the fissile fuel, because the only thing which is radioactive in Mechanism is nuclear waste and the reactor which is melting down. I have also been thinking that we are going to start processing the fuel down here at our basement, because it's not radioactive and we have access to our applied energistic system. But since we are going to take safety very seriously, I think we are also going to have a blast door over here. So there is something called a drawbridge. I remember them from 1.7, but they have never been updated until yet. And the way it works is that you give it some blocks, you give it a redstone signal, and it will make you a bridge. And if you turn off the redstone, it will retract the bridge. Of course, we are not going to make a bridge, we're gonna make a blast door. For some reason that I do not understand in real life, lead gives you the best protection against radiation. So we're going to use lead. So if we put some redstone dust on top and use a lever here, they should close, right? Yes, but what we want to do is that we want the door to be always closed and we want to be able to open it using a signal. So we need to invert the signal. Good. The author of the engineer's decor also has another mod called gauges and switches. They look very interesting. Actually, they do look very interesting, but I don't think they go really well with a blast door. So maybe we should have a computer. Can we make you? Yes. So this is basically the thing that I had in mind. We do have a blast door. If we come to the computer and type open, it will open the door. There's going to be an alarm and we can go in. And it will keep the door open for 5 seconds. And of course, for the moment, it's just a one-way trip and I need to install another computer over here. But the way that it works is relatively simple. We do have drawbridges over here, which are always extended because they're receiving a redstone signal. And whenever we run the command on the computer, this redstone receiver will be active, it will turn off the torch, and the pistons will retract. And these 4 lines are basically the entire program. So print is just a welcoming message that you can write whatever you want. Then we have a redstone output in the back. It will keep the redstone powered for 5 seconds, and then it will turn it off. So if I run open, this will happen. And of course we also have an industrial alarm from Mechanism, because it looks cool. Now that we have spent a stupid amount of time on something which is totally non-essential, let's get back to essential stuff. We need to make fissile fuel for the fission reactor, and for that we need uranium hexafluoride. That comes from uranium oxide and hydrofluoric acid. So how do we get uranium oxide? Yellow cake, uranium. That requires an enrichment chamber and a chemical oxidizer, which is facing the wrong way. Yes, this is much better. So generally speaking, if I give you uranium, you will make yellow cake, and the yellow cake goes inside the chemical oxidizer and we get uranium oxide. Okay. Good. The question is, how do we power everything without having cables everywhere? So I think what we're going to have to do is that we're going to put a quantum entangloporter somewhere around here, I guess. And then I'm going to hook it up to a P2P tunnel. And if we right click on that P2P tunnel, now you should be for energy, right? Yes. Forge energy. So if I have another P2P tunnel and convert it into forge energy and then paste the configuration, you should have power, right? Yes, I should have just right clicked, not shift right click. So our applied energistic system is also providing the power. Good. It's not a very good solution to transfer RF using your applied energistic system, because in any case each P2P tunnel is going to consume one channel. We have the uranium oxide, now we need the hydrofluoric acid, which requires sulfuric acid. Oh my goodness. So for making sulfuric acid we need sulfur dust from Mechanism, which thankfully we can get it from sulfur from thermal expansion. And we are getting it from our quarry. That's nice. We are not getting it in a crazy amount, but I think it should be fine. Getting sulfuric acid in Mechanism is a relatively complicated process. We need sulfur dioxide, which comes from sulfur, then we need to infuse it with oxygen so that we get sulfur trioxide, and then we need to infuse it again with water vapor in order to get sulfuric acid. So our first order of business is to export sulfur into a chemical oxidizer. And I do have an export bus with a crafting cart, so this should be done automatically. Now that we're getting the sulfur dioxide from the chemical oxidizer, I'm using a chemical infuser and we need to infuse it with oxygen. So I do have a pump, an electrolytic separator, and I think this side is for oxygen. Good. I just moved it by 1 block so that we can just do this. And you should be fine, right? We put you on input 1. Actually, this new change with Mechanism is really nice. You don't need to input the oxygen from the left side, like this one. You can just specify it over here. You come to gases, and you just say accept it from the right side. What I want to say is that it makes the cabling a little bit better. We're getting sulfur trioxide. Now we need sulfuric acid, and that is just water vapor. So for the sulfuric acid I had to lower the pump by 1 more block so that I can get a water pump. I'm using a rotary condensator which is converting water into vapor, and that goes inside a chemical infuser, which obviously is going to give us sulfuric acid. Now that we have the sulfuric acid, we're going to need a chemical dissolution chamber and fluorite so that we get hydrofluoric acid. So I did make the chemical dissolution chamber, and I think we just put it, I don't know, maybe somewhere around here will be fine for the moment. So we are also going to need an export bus, and we export fluorite. Now you should work, maybe, please. Don't you work from the bottom? Oh, you do, okay. And you will give me hydrofluoric acid, very good. So ladies and gentlemen, we're making sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, sulfuric acid and hydrofluoric acid, as well as uranium oxide on this side. The only question is, how do we connect you to you? A quantum entangloporter? Yeah, I'm going to put a quantum entangloporter down here for hydrofluoric acid, and then we're going to have another one over here in order to extract it, so that we don't have long pipes. I do have another quantum entangloporter over here which is set to hydrofluoric acid, so we're getting the hydrofluoric acid, and the uranium oxide comes from the pipe. We just need to give you power, and you should be good to go. Yes, very good. The final part of the plan is to get the centrifuge. It's a new block, although I'm not exactly sure how big you're going to be. You're not that big. How do you work? You have like one input. Well, I'm guessing that's how it works, okay. Okay, after a ridiculous amount of machines and processes, we're just getting the fuel for the reactor. And that's it. I know that focusing on one project is very boring, so what we're going to do is that we're going to call it a day for mechanism, and we will make the fission reactor next episode. We have other projects to do, and I have to clean up the mess. Oh, and by the way, I'm using these windows from Engineer's Decor, and the only problem that I used to have with them was that if you have a door and then use the glasses, this is the problem that you're going to have. But thankfully, they do have a very nice door, which fits. Where's the door? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think for the moment it's relatively okay. We're also going to have a very small reactor back over there, and everything should be fine. I ran out of blocks. I love this stupid thing. I know I said we are not going to do any more mechanism for today, but the issue is, if you look at the recipe for a mecha suit, you might notice that it also needs an induction cell, which needs lithium dust. And since making lithium dust is going to be relatively easy, let us try to automate that first, and then we go and do other projects. I make it sound like we have a very important project to do, but actually no, there are a few bits and pieces that we need to take care of, and that's it. So I wanted to make a few solar panels for the thermal evaporation tower, and then I noticed we need solar panels from power. You need 49 more blaze rods. You know what? I do not have a spawner room yet, but at least we can modify this one, right? We just put you in the center. I brought some sugar, but maybe we should use the comparator first so that we can turn it on and off. I also brought some clocks, one gas tier, and one spider eye. Are we okay? So in this way we should get more blazes, I hope. Yeah, I think that should be enough. We can go home. I just set in all the patterns, and can you make me 8 solar panels, please? Yes. I absolutely have no idea why this stupid thing is so expensive, but it's okay. We can make 8 of them and we should be fine. Also, we don't want a crazy amount of lithium, and this is why I'm not going to go with a resistive heater. We just stick with traditions. We're not going to have a very crazy setup because in this mod pack we do not need to have an induction matrix, and if we need a power reserve, I'm just gonna use power. And the only reason that I want a little bit of lithium is to make the mecha suit. Just in case you didn't know, if you want to get lithium from mechanism, you're going to need 2 thermal evaporation towers. Each one of them is going to be 4x4 and a maximum of 18. The first one is going to require water, and if you heat it up using either a solar panel or a resistive heater, it's going to give you brine, which is the fluid, not the person. Oh, we have another Nate. Hello. Protection 6 soulbound. I'll keep it. Anyhow, as I was saying, now that you have the brine, all you need is a mechanical pipe. And you extract the brine into the second thermal evaporation tower. And this one is going to provide you with lithium. The lithium that we're getting over here is a fluid. We need to convert it into a gas. So obviously we are going to need to have a rotary condensator to convert the fluid into gas. And since I want to hide everything, can we put it down here? Yes, that is much better. Then we are going to need a pressurized tube, and we need to input it inside a chemical crystallizer, and that will give us lithium dust. And I think the easiest solution is that we just use a logistical transporter into an ender chest. Right? Exactly, that will go into our ender chest and into our ME system. And to be honest with you, I'm not even going to bother with speed upgrades because I don't need that much lithium. Just before we wrap up the episode, there is something that I'm looking for. Slimes. Not the slime ball, the slime itself. The thing is, there is a very special drop from slimes which is called a pearl, and that is from reliquary, and it is used in a lot of crafting recipes like the lily pad of fertility or the lantern of paranoia. We don't have access to it because I don't see slimes. I did find a few in a chest, but that's it, and we have already consumed it. There is an item from Botania which is called slime in a bottle, and that will find you slime chunks. You see, in this chunk, the slime is jumping around. If I come here, it's not. So this is a slime chunk. Well, this is a slime chunk, but a horrible one. Where would they spawn? Yeah, I'm hoping this will give them a better chance of spawning. We need to get rid of some of the mob. Maybe I should get some bats. I need bat wings. I got one. We can use it in order to make the interdiction torch, and that will give us access to mega torch. It has been almost 45 minutes. I'm riddled with arrows. My armor is breaking, and I'm running low on mana. And so far I did manage to find one slime and he didn't drop it. Oh, the second one. Yes. At least drop an egg, please. No. Well, there is an altar of birthing from nature's aura, and that will give you slimes, right? Maybe we're going to get into that because this is not paying off. Well, that was not the most successful thing that I have ever done, so if you guys have any ideas how I can find a large quantity of slimes, I'll be very happy. And yes, I do understand that the best way of getting a lot of slimes is to make an actual vanilla slime farm, but I was hoping to avoid that. But if we don't have a choice, that's what we have to do. Anyway, there is an item that you guys have been haunting me to use, and that is called the Eternal Stella from Forbidden and Arcanus. I really wanted to get into this mod because it looks really cool, but unfortunately, the documentation is like this, and it doesn't show you anything. It just shows you the JEI, and that's it. But in the comments you guys told me that if I make this, I can make an item indestructible. I don't have that many items that I want to make indestructible, but maybe at least we can make the charm talisman from Cyclic and make that one indestructible. Your Sheep John the Nifty. Hello. Yeah, I think this is a very good use for it. Charm talisman, indestructible. So I have poison, wither, fire, and void protection. What are you doing? He's crazy. Of course, there was also a suggestion that I use it for the charms from Apotheosis, but I don't have access to the ones that I want, so maybe we will do that later on. Anyway guys, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.